I think every woman can benefit from adding a red oil to her skincare routine, especially if you are a woman like me, meaning you are in midlife, maybe a couple of steps away from 50, and you are someone who really values taking exquisite care of your skin. And at the same time, you believe that taking exquisite care of your skin should not require a complicated protocol with 39 products that you have to layer on. Now, why red oils in particular? So, I personally have kind of honed in on these oils as the years have gone by because I've come to realize that they contain high amounts of compounds known as carotenoids. Now, carotenoids come in, there are lots of different forms of them, and they are typically reddish in color, maybe a deep orange or a very strong yellow. So they tend to run from like a strong yellow all the way to a deep red. And the more intense that color is, that's usually a sign that the oil has high amounts of carotenoids. Now, this matters because some of these carotenoids our skin is able to convert into vitamin A active compounds. All right. So there are actually three carotenoids that the skin can convert, and they are alpha carotene, beta carotene, and beta cryptoxanthin. So just picking up one of them, beta carotene, because that's one that you are probably familiar with. You've heard about, beta carotene being in other foods like carrots and in sweet potatoes, right? Both of those have strong orange colors. So again, these carotenoids always have that orange to reddish tint to them. And something like beta carotene is basically a vitamin A precursor. And we know that having vitamin A when it comes to our skincare can be so beneficial at any age, but certainly as we get older. So some of the benefits of having vitamin A in our skincare routine include like having an increase in cell turnover, right? It also can be helpful for, let's say, like smoothing out skin texture. It's also known for helping to balance out an uneven skin tone. So there's quite a few benefits, and that's why there are so many retinol products out there, right? And why they are so popular. So when I talked about the fact that the body can convert, let's say, beta carotene into vitamin A active compounds, that includes compounds like retinol. Now, to be clear, this is going to be different from the retinol product that you would buy, right, or even get prescribed to you, because those are synthetic and they are formulated for a particular potency, let's say. Whereas here, we're just talking about getting a vitamin A precursor and then letting the body do its work to then convert to retinol. So this is not necessarily going to be a one-to-one. I'm not going to say that using a certain amount of one oil is going to give you the equivalent potency of a retinol that you would buy, because they're just fundamentally different. But the benefits and what your skin gets from it remains the same. But in terms of potency, I actually could not tell you what the equivalency is. Now, personally, I am someone that does not purchase those types of products, which is actually why when I started learning about oils and I realized that there is a category of oils that have these vitamin A precursors, I got curious because I enjoy taking care of my skin and doing all the girly things, but I really do not like for it to turn into an overwhelming project. I don't want to have to deal with a ton of products. I like efficiency. And I find that face oils for me are really like one of the most efficient ways to just take care of my skin day after day, year after year, and not have to think about it as long as I invest in what I personally consider to be maybe like the most nutrient dense, right, and the most versatile oils. So one of the oils that I have used for quite a few years now is rosehip oil. And I have a video about it that I'm going to link to it, because in that video, I tell you precisely the type of rosehip that I use. And the one that I prefer to use is rosehip oil that is extracted from the whole seed and fruit, basically, and flesh. And there's reasons why, which I explained in that video. But rosehip is one oil that happens to also have beta carotene and some other carotenoids. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I have stuck with it for many years, because I figured it's just multi-purpose and it still has all the other good stuff that comes with having a face oil, like vitamin E. You have the occlusive properties that help to lock in moisture and all that. So that's an example of one oil that is in my routine. And another one that I had tried years ago and then stopped and I've gone back to is sea buckthorn oil, right? And this one is a sea buckthorn seed oil. In many ways, it is a little bit like rosehip in the sense that the oil also can be made from the entire thing, so from the seed and the flesh. But you can also have an oil that is made only from the flesh and only from the seed, all right? But it also is known for having high amounts of carotenoids like beta carotene. So that's one reason I'm using it. It also has some slightly different constituents compared to rosehip oil. So again, because I'm going for efficiency, I like to rotate. So I'm not gonna buy them and use them both at the same time. But I will rotate. So when I run out of one, I'll go and buy another one because I look at it as feeding my skin and giving my skin nutrition. And in the same way, we need a diversity of foods internally. I just look at these oils. It's another way of giving my skin a diversity of oils. So right now, I'm on a sea buckthorn kick, and I quite like it. So rosehip, sea buckthorn, those are two oils that are good sources of beta carotene, which is going to be converted to vitamin A. Now, some other oils, if you are curious about this whole thing, some other oils to look into are buriti oil. There is also unrefined palm oil. That is one that I personally am familiar with because growing up in West Africa, in Cameroon, we cook with palm oil. We put it in our hair, we put it on our skin, and yeah, it is a fabulous oil. And that one is really on the red side of things because it is quite high in beta carotene and other carotenoids. So that's another one to experiment with. Of course, you do have to keep in mind that with an oil that is that red, you do have more staining that is going to happen. But in terms of, like I said, I grew up with it, so I don't have access. Well, I don't buy it here because I find it just being imported, that the price is just ridiculous when you realize that it's not that expensive of an oil if I was on the ground locally where it is collected. So yeah, that's another option for you. And then another one is macerated carrot oil. So I talked about the fact that carrots are very high in beta carotene. And so you can get a macerated oil. And basically what that is it is carrot root that has been infused in a carrier oil. That's another option for getting you these carotenoids. So sea buckthorn oil, rosehip oil, macerated carrot oil, buriti oil, and unrefined palm oil. Those five contain some pretty significant amount of these carotenoids that the body can then convert into vitamin A. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because skincare is on my mind a whole lot more now, also for lots of different reasons, but one of the reasons being that in my membership, we are getting ready to start off a 7-day skincare ritual. So that's starting in approximately 5 days. And so we've been exchanging ideas and trying to figure out what we wanted to do. And basically, we settled on for this first skincare ritual, we're actually going to work with body oils or face oils, and we're going to do like head to toe body massage because there's a lot of different benefits, not just from a purely cosmetic or aesthetic perspective, but also just in terms of bringing more intentionality to how we approach skincare, because that is also part of taking good care of ourselves and really feeling more grounded, especially when we're in midlife and there's a lot of changes going through the body and you're looking for ways to be more mindful, more present, more embodied to support that nervous system one of the best ways I have personally found is that actually skincare is a really fun way of practicing that presence with your body, because you're having to, you're pampering yourself, you're putting your hands on your body, and it is, this is truly healing, just doing this and being present. But sometimes, skincare is just this mechanical thing that we go through and we just rush through it. We just slap on the products and we rush out to move on with our day. And the goal of this is to take a more mindful process. We're pulling from concepts from traditions like Ayurveda, where skincare is really a ritual and has even almost a spiritual component to it. So we're just using it as a fun way to nourish ourselves inside out, but through the skin. So that's why skincare is on my mind. That's why I wanted to share this with you guys. And if you are somebody who would like to try out something like this for yourself, just to support your overall health and wellness, come and join us in the membership. I will have a link to it in the description section. Okay. And that's it for the video. So if you found this helpful or interesting in any way, I would love it if you gave a thumbs up and also gave it if you share it with others. If you have questions, feedback, if you have ever used any of these oils, I'd love to hear your perspective and your experience with them. So on that note, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.